in the SEC Conference. We're going to build the best football program in the SEC Conference.
You have now arrived at Stadium in Gale.
The kick, it's been blocked again! How about it? It's been blocked again! It's going to heat one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyree Cleveland! How about it? I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw. Thompson fires the ball over the middle. It's Dory! It's Dory! Got a touchdown! Dory's got a touchdown! Oh, man! Dory's got a touchdown!
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out the winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium in Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your favorite Uncle Silk.
It's Dan.
And Delatorre.
Same corner, fresh new time, two-ish.
We've been having new times.
Yeah, we are not at the same time anymore. If you're looking for us on the corner.
We dropped the episode at the same time. How about that?
Yeah.
Not the recording.
Yeah, if
That's
you
true.
are looking for us at the same corner that we normally did, we will not be there.
We were panhandling at another time.
We're panhandling at another time. Love that.
We definitely panhandling, man. Shoot us tips.
Panhandling. What's our first ad sponsor today?
Yeah. Let's just get through them all.
Right? How's y'all weekend, man?
Nick?
Easy weekend. The fiance. I'm having trouble. I keep saying girlfriend.
Yeah, that'll
Getting
get you
in trouble. Getting in trouble. Having trouble getting in trouble. She is back out of town for the next 3 months. Out of town for football season, finishing up her clinicals and then boards, all that. So easy week. Looking forward to this weekend. Football game. Parents coming to town.
Yes, sir.
Lots to look forward to. But last weekend was just chill.
So is she not going to come back for 3 months or?
She's in Tampa. She's actually in Terracea, a little south of Tampa, Dan.
There you go. All right.
And working in, I think it is a doctor's office in Clearwater.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to your visits to Tampa.
Busy,
fine city.
Busy time for me, Dan. Don't know if I'll be getting to Tampa.
I know that you
Little-
have spared
busy.
my fair city more
Busy
so
with the
than
9 to 5.
All right. Well, I'll remember that. So, how was your weekend?
Oh, man, very chill, very relaxed. Football's back on, so I got to enjoy some okay games. I thought it was some decent football on. That's it. Just chill, relax. Didn't have to go to my son's still going through COVID pre protocol, so we didn't have a game this weekend. So just chillax, man.
Yeah, kind of the same.
How's he handling that?
Yeah, he's ready to get out there, bro. He's anxious. He still haven't played his first official game yet. He's done scrimmages with the team. Got to feel what tackling felt like, but as soon as the games got started, he's sick that day, so he's just anxious to get back out there, bro. I'm gonna miss his first game, which is this weekend. Actually, got to go to New Orleans for Florida State versus LSU, so I'm gonna miss the first game, but he'll be all right. I expect big stats.
With big stats, not expected to. I'm looking forward to the videos. Looking forward to seeing some videos of Coach Silk on the sideline too.
Oh yeah. You won't see those videos because we're the Hurricanes.
Ooh. Can't be seeing those colors. No, it was a good weekend. As you guys
Are
know, go ahead.
Are they playing at LSU or are they playing in New Orleans?
New Orleans, man.
They're playing in the Dome.
I think I'm gonna link up with a few Gators out there, man. You know, Marcus May's out there and Chauncey's out there. I may link up with some guys, do some content out there. We'll see what's up. But yeah, if you're a Gator fan, you in the New Orleans area, pull up on us, man. We hanging out for the Florida State tailgate, but it's still good vibes for the Gators, man. Whoever else, Miami fans, y'all listening to, pull up.
I love New Orleans. One of my favorite places to visit. Elite food on deck. Just quick question. I mean, I'm thinking, what's one type of cuisine for me? Cajun food. I could eat Cajun food, I think, every day and not get sick of it. Is there a type of food that you guys could eat, never get sick of?
I don't get tired of food.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I can eat the same
No,
thing
'cause you
every
eat it
day.
you can eat it every day.
I can eat the same thing every day. Like when I lost weight, I ate chicken and broccoli every day. And my roommate was like, "What are we having for dinner?" I'm like, "Bro, this is working. Why would I not eat the same chicken and broccoli? We're losing weight." He's like, "I can't eat it every day. But I could eat the same thing every day. I don't think regardless. Burgers are up there.
No, I would have to go probably
Tofu for silk.
No, these days, bro. This not I gotta switch up shit these days just because I don't eat a whole lot. So I try to.
Well, you're pescatarian. You're gonna get some great seafood in New Orleans.
Oh, for sure. Some fire seafood boils. I'll be in my wheelhouse. But I would say before I got like veganed out and pescatarian out, I stopped eating because some pescatarians eat dairy. I don't eat dairy. Pizza, man. I could eat pizza like damn near. Especially in my college days, bro. I promise you, like a whole semester eating pizza every day. Hungry Howie's,
benching 420.
Yeah.
A large Hungry Howie's after.
Carved out. We got quite the show, man. It's game week, fellas. We got Utah on the horizon. Top 10 team we're facing, not a top 10 matchup. Facing a top 10 team. I'm ready to see what AR does, man. Let's podcast a little bit.
Let's do that. But before we do, as always, we are in season now, so we appreciate you guys all that are tuned back in. We appreciate everybody that listened during the off season and all the other sports too. A lot of great guests. If you didn't listen, we had Scott Strickland, we had Todd Golden, we had Jeremy Foley all this past summer. All great listens. But as always, we want to shout out our sponsors. And as always, our title sponsor is Alan Horn with State Farm Insurance. He is based in Jasper, Georgia, but he can help you in Georgia, Alabama, Florida, or Tennessee. Give him a call at 706-692-2888 or visit Alan Horn, that's ALANHORNE insurance.com. For your auto, home, renters, life, business, boat, yacht, RV, whatever type of insurance you may need, life insurance, retirement planning, whatever it is, AlanHornInsurance.com, 706-692-2888. We appreciate Alan for the sponsorship and for all the support that he does for the Roll Up Network. Gentlemen, we have Josh Newman, who covers Utah, joining us in not too long. But earlier today, a couple hours ago, Billy Napier spoke to the media about the Gators' first game against the Utes on Saturday. Nick, any real takeaways? Listen to it. Full energy, seems excited, seems like he wants to capture the moment, but not a ton of news that he broke down for us.
Yeah, bro. We're getting like quickly into like, and I don't mean it like in coaching terms, but like quickly into like McElwain territory, where I could not tune in, not show up, and tell you like, give me a question, and I could like tell you what the answer is going to be, give or take a few words. And that's fine. Like as long as you're winning football games, you can say whatever you want. Look at Lane Kiffin; he says whatever the hell he wants. Billy's on the opposite end of the spectrum there. I don't know if I'm buying into this team will be so much better. I think the biggest thing people have talked about is the discipline. There's structure, there's discipline, and people are being held accountable, and that's going to help with penalties. I don't know that that's the case. Like, I don't know if that will be the case. Like, you go back to the 90s, Florida was one of the most penalized teams. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there was discipline and structure with, Steve Spurrier's program. But I think Billy Napier, one of the cool things I think will be to watch him kind of take it in Saturday. Because I'm expecting, I haven't seen a ton of great crowds. What was the Auburn game was a great crowd. Mm-hmm. I think one of the LSU games was a great crowd. There's been some good environments, but I mean, I'm expecting a full sold out Ben Hill Griffin Stadium.
This has to be the biggest opener of.
Well, you have like the Miami opener. You had the Miami opener. For a coach, yeah.
Yeah, for a first-time coach, and I mean, it's probably one of the best all-time games to start the season.
Miami game was.
I thought the Miami game was.
It was in Orlando.
Oh, and in Orlando.
Week 0.
Yeah.
That was week 0 in Orlando.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of the Urban Meyer and Carl Moore days, and that time that was, I think, game 2.
Yeah, that was game 2.
Carl Moore is a random name to throw.
Yeah, no, I know, but I remember that game specifically because
Dan's
I used to
drinking buddy.
stand on the sidelines of the game, not a big deal. And Carl Moore caught a pass right in front of me, almost knocked me over on live TV. Fortunately, reflexes of a cat and the speed of a cheetah was able to get out of the way. But he hauled in an over-the-shoulder pass, and I think people thought, hey, we got the next, Calvin Johnson, Terrell Owens, whoever it might be. We did not, unfortunately.
I think I'll be like using my binoculars to like look at Billy because he's talked about since his first press conference. I want to feel the swamp. I want to feel that environment. I want to see what Gator Nation. He called fans out again today, just saying like, hey, show out early. You being there and you being loud is a factor. You are part of the team, part of the game day experience. So I'm looking forward to seeing just what his reaction is to what I think is going to be an incredible environment.
Yeah, he talked a little bit about soaking it in, and this is, one of the moments. I mean, you have to remember that these guys are people too with hopes and dreams, and, guys that played football, wanted to get into coaching and have the opportunity to lead one of the most illustrious college football programs, in the world. And that's just got to be a hell of a moment, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere, an incredible crowd. Certainly a memorable experience for him. Just before we get on, Silk, I kind of want to get a few of your thoughts before we get Josh Newman on board. For those of you that are following on YouTube, thanks so much. Chris Sorley, we appreciate you. Unique 863. Money Green, appreciate all of you guys. If you do,
the depth chart Money Green is out Wednesday. I see that comment.
Yep, and depth chart is out on Wednesday. Nick, there was a question during the press conference about depth charts. Did he previously release them on Monday? Or I couldn't totally hear the question. You can definitely hear the media better than before, but you're still missing some of the questions. What was that question about? Do you remember?
At UL, he released them on Wednesday night. So we will talk to previous coaches have released them on Monday at Florida. So it was like we in the media were like, oh, when is he releasing a depth chart Wednesday? And on Monday we were told no, Wednesday. So he said today the question was asked, what's your reasoning for doing it Wednesday instead of on Monday? He said there's a lot of unknowns. And Wednesday is kind of their last big practice, before getting ready and getting into game week. Because they go to a movie Friday. They're in the hotel room Friday. They have all kinds of stuff they're doing Friday. So Wednesday's their last big practice. So his basic answer was there's unknowns even in my mind and in our position coach's mind what the two deep will be until after Wednesday's practice.
What movie do you think they're going to watch? Like Remember the Titans? Just bring back old school.
No.
Definitely not a Rudy guy.
They're going to a movie theater.
Oh, to watch Remember the Titans.
So something that's out.
Yeah, it's not high school, Dan.
Something that's out.
You got to put out something.
You roll the TV in and watch Remember the Titans, man. We got money, man. Go to the theater. What are they going to see? Nick?
I don't know.
Those are the questions that you need to ask. Those are questions you need to answer.
I'll ask Wednesday for you.
I would think they're trying to decide more like the backup, the two deep. I would think, not the starters. Do you think we have any starters up for question?
Kicker. That's it. And I was getting hell today from some of the other writers for asking Jeremy Crawshaw about the kickers and to see is there any difference in it. It might be a silly question, but like it's silly until you miss a game-winning kick. And then it's not silly who the starting kicker is. I think that's the only starting position that's up for grabs with Adam Mihalek and the freshman Trace Mack.
All right, so we've got Josh Newman waiting to join us. Silk, why don't you get us a Gramco ad read, and then we'll bring Josh in from the Salt Lake Tribune.
Be sure to visit thegramco.com. Use coupon code SG25 for 25% off of all THC Delta 8 products. Everything's federally legal, shipped to your mailbox. We have gummies coming in the flavors of fruit punch, watermelon, and blue raspberry. Also a hard candy of tropical orange. Like I said, everything's discreet. Mail to your mailbox. Federally legal. Must be 21 years or older to purchase. What's up, Josh?
How we doing, boys?
Vibing, man.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely.
You're coming straight from a press conference. Still in
yes. So we had the presser, and then I stayed on campus to write, and now I'm seeing this background behind me. So yeah, here we are.
Borrowing Kyle's background.
But yeah, borrowing Kyle's background, exactly.
You been working out for the humidity, Josh?
Oh, I'm a Northeast native, so 98% humidity is no shock to me. I'll be all right.
All right.
Josh, that's a question that's definitely kind of taken over the internet the last couple of days. How big of an issue? You know, there was a debate yesterday between being able to work out at altitude might allow them to be able to have more oxygen intake, and then we're hearing humidity. I think we're over talking this science stuff right now. But Josh, how do you think that's going to play into this game?
You know, I think it's a thing. You know, I interviewed a doctor here, a sports medicine doctor who previously worked for the Army, and I started talking about, you know, Utah is obviously up here in the mountains in this semi-arid climate, and you're going down to sea level playing in the humidity. And this doctor, you know, he did paint it as, you know, it's a thing, like you have to try to prepare for it. You know, Utah's been, at least during camp, they were practicing outside at the hottest point of the day, which here is like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or they would go into the indoor facility, crank up the heat, crank up the humidity, trying to replicate it. But there's only so much you can do to replicate it. And at some point, like, you are leaving your semi-arid mountain environment and you have to go into the humidity. You know, Utah fans at least have been kind of goofing on me and goofing on the notion that the humidity is going to be a thing, but it's going to be a thing. Like, you're going into a different environment. Your body has to adjust. Your body is going to react. Do I think it's like the ultimate be-all factor on Saturday night? No, but it's certainly a thing that Utah has to prepare for and has to be prepared to deal with, for sure.
I have not been prepared to deal with it while at practice, and I'm from South Florida. It's just gross. It's just nasty. I think it's rained 200 days in a row.
Awesome.
It's just been
it's good.
It's just been gross up here. It's been hard to be outside.
Pot, Josh.
Yeah. Say it again, Sil.
Nice little crock pot.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I said, I mean, I'm a native New Yorker, and I spent 15 years in New Jersey. It's not Florida, but like the middle of August, it's going to be 98 degrees and 94% humidity, and it's like very uncomfortable, even if you grew up around it, even if you live in it every day like you guys. And then you're putting on pads and you're putting on a helmet and you're taking into account the temperature on the field. It's a thing, no matter if Utah fans want to, believe in it or deny it, like, it's absolutely a factor that Utah's going to have to deal with Saturday.
All right, enough science.
Josh, you were kind enough to answer some questions for me, and we'll probably reiterate some of those there. Cameron Rising, you educated me a little bit. He wasn't totally hurt last year, but the deep passing game wasn't really a thing. Slants, short passes, and then leaning on that running game was Utah's bread and butter last year. Kyle Whittingham keeps talking about wanting to stretch the field. How much do you think Utah will try that in this opening game versus, hey, we know what works. What worked last year? We have a deep running back room. Let's just do that.
It's a great question, and I think a lot of that might depend on the weather. I mean, you look at the forecast now, jokes aside with the humidity, it's still going to be, humid and rain, and the weather could be a mess. And look, if the weather's a mess, yeah, I think Utah's inclined to lean on the running back room, and they return a ton. Tavion Thomas rushed for 1,100 yards and 21 touchdowns. He's back. Mekhi Bernard is the best pass catching option out of Kyle Whittingham's backfield. 770 some odd, total yards from scrimmage. Jalen Glover is a 4-star kid from the state of Florida, right? He went to Lake Gibson. People are excited to see what he can do. So, a lot of that depends on the weather, but for the purposes of this exercise, yeah, I think a big early storyline of camp was, we kind of found out that Rising, while healthy enough to play, the shoulder itself was probably only 80% healthy. And you look back in hindsight, no, they weren't going down the field. Rising was, terrific last year in short stuff, intermediate stuff, but they didn't go down the field a ton. So, a big storyline is Rising's shoulder is now healthy. Do you have the guys that you believe that you can go down the field with, right? The wide receiver position, has not been a position of strength for Utah in several years. But you've got a couple of, big 6'4" downfield threats, or at least what they think is downfield threats. Devon Vele is a veteran guy, 6'4", has the speed, can go over the top of somebody. Solomon Enis is another veteran guy. This is year 4 for Solomon Enis. Again, 6'3", the size, the whole thing. People have been waiting for Solomon Enis to break out finally, right? He's got the size and the pedigree, right? The son of, the great Penn State running back Curtis Enis. So, we're going to see, 2 things that Utah has. They can run the ball, which we just talked about. And then you have 2, very legitimate pass catching tight ends in Brant Kuithe and Dalton Kincaid. So when you take those 2 factors into account, what's left for the wide receivers, right? And if Utah comes out here and they're running the ball and they're getting Kuithe involved and they're getting Kincaid involved, I don't feel the need to really try to force it into Vele or force it into Enis and, Jalen Dixon out of the slot or Money Parks out of the slot. So, we'll see. We'll see what the weather dictates. We'll see what the matchup dictates, but they want to go down the field. I don't know if it's going to happen in this game, but, it's kind of a season-long thing that I'll be watching at least. Can they, figure it out and start to go down the field more?
Josh, I want to kind of change to the other side of the field now. Obviously, the Gators are going to be welcoming back Mohamed Diabate on the opposite, side of the field. Mahmoud, Jesus, he leaves the team for 9 months, and I completely forget. Mahmoud Diabate comes back, and but talk to us about the rest of the Utah defense.
Yeah, defense, linebackers has been a point of emphasis here. You lose Devin Lloyd to the NFL. You lose Nephi Sewell, the other standout linebacker. He went to camp. But Devin Lloyd specifically did so much for this defense, sideline to sideline, coming off the edge, just doing everything. So you don't replace a guy like Devin Lloyd, especially not in game 1. But the thing with the linebacker room is that within the defense, I think the linebacker room is the deepest, most talented group, but most of the options are just pretty green, because Lloyd and Sewell were taking up so much of the reps and so much of the space. So what does that look like? We saw the first depth chart this morning. Depth chart, always take it with a grain of salt. But, the first one is at least generally an indication of what the staff believes. So, Mo Diabate, I say Mo, I don't care, judge me. Mo Diabate penciled in the middle. And then Kareni Reed, who is a second-year guy, played well when Lloyd was hurt and was suspended for a half last year on one side. So you've got Diabate, you've got Kareni Reed, and then Lander Barton is an 18-year-old true freshman, 4-star kid, crown jewel of this recruiting class, and they're very high on Lander Barton. Me, as a bit of a pessimist looking to nitpick, is Lander Barton, right, 18-year-old, early enrollee, never played a down of college football. Is this kid ready to walk into the swamp and make an impact game 1? So, linebacker. And then, the secondary, I think if you watched the Rose Bowl or were paying attention, you know that Utah was kind of devoid of depth in its secondary, right? Mekhi Bernard went both ways in that Rose Bowl because they were so down on the depth after all the injuries, but they're healthy now, okay? Clark Phillips is an All-America candidate. JT Brockton on the other side of cornerback, was hurt for most of last season. He's back, all Pac-12 kid back in 2020. The safety position is veteran and deep. There's options. So, I think there's questions at linebacker just because, again, guys are green. And, Diabate is a veteran guy, but it's his first game in this system. You're coming in there as a visitor, but, defense is solid. One thing Utah always does, they'll figure out the defense. They always have options, and they're going to figure it out more times than not.
How do you feel about on the offensive side of the ball in the trenches? You two, I see. Originally, when I first started to hear about Utah, you think about veteran offensive line play. But I see 2 sophomores. How do you guys feel about the young guys in the trenches?
If you're going by eligibility class-wise, yeah, they're young, but they've had reps. Last year to this year in the trenches, it's different. Last year, you had a veteran group mostly, but there were so many injuries during camp and guys shifting around, and you were trying to figure it out. And the offensive line was a mess last year for the first 2 or 3 games until they really got it going. You look at this year, 60% of the offensive line starters, so 3 out of 5 guys who started most of the time last year, those guys are all back. Then you start talking about, Jaron Kump at right tackle, maybe the most talented tackle on the roster. Kid was hurt all last season. Back now. Okay. He's only played 10 career games, but he's back and he looks good and he's had a positive camp. Braden Daniels was your right tackle last year. He's moving over to left tackle to protect Cam Rising's backside. So, in total with the, with the offensive line, that's another thing that, year in and year out, no matter who leaves for the NFL or injuries or whatever, Utah has an offensive line. But the key here is, like, the thing to pay attention to, Utah's offensive line either generally starts slow, or you have a game against like an FCS team or a group of 5 team to like really kind of like work out your depth and figure out what your best 5 is. Well, you don't have that luxury this year. Okay. You're going into Florida, real deal college football environment. You have to have your stuff figured out on the offensive line. And if you listen to Kyle Whittingham and you listen to some of the assistants, Jim Harding, the offensive line coach, they believe that they have their 5, they like their 5, and they believe that the depth, along the line probably goes to like 8, 9, or 10. So that's another thing I'm paying attention to Saturday. This offensive line, which generally starts slow, you don't have time for that on Saturday. This is not Weber State or Southern Utah. Like, it's the University of Florida at the Swamp. You have to have it figured out immediately.
I want to go to another one. I'm going to butcher the last name. I'll do my best. But he's a player that I don't think we've talked about. I didn't ask you about him, but Brant Kuithe? Keithy. Yep. Brant Kuithe. He's almost kind of like, I don't want to compare him to Kyle Pitts in terms of how good Kyle Pitts was and is in the NFL now, but the way Utah uses him, they put him in the slot. He can play with his hand in the dirt. He can play out at like an X or a Z. He just seems to be like a matchup nightmare.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's well said. He's very versatile. Look, Brant Kuithe played running back in high school. Okay, played running back primarily, but they recruited him here as a tight end because they thought he had good size. They thought it would translate, and it did. He's been all Pac-12 3 times. He's flirted with the NFL draft twice, really flirted with it last year. I thought he was going to leave, but, he did the right thing. He talked to his people. He talked to the right people. He got the NFL draft grade from the scouting service, didn't like it, opted to return. And, they've used him in different positions in the past, but I think there's going to be a heavier emphasis on doing that now. Nick, as you said, I mean, he can line up at tight end. He can line up in the slot. Don't be surprised if he lines up in the backfield, a jet sweep here and there. I think that Kuithe, if you take Cam Rising off the table, because obviously your starting quarterback is indispensable in most cases. If you eliminate Rising from that discussion, I think Kuithe is the most indispensable guy on this Utah offense just because of how versatile he is and how many different things he can do and how dangerous he is with the ball. So, again, 3-time All Pac-12 guy, has been playing a starring role for this group for a while. He's been to 3 Pac-12 championship games. Like, he's been around the block. And the thing with Kuithe, again, if you talk to Kyle Whittingham and you talk to coaches, we don't see practice. Okay, I haven't seen 1 second of practice since the spring. So again, you're stuck talking to guys and reading between the lines and talking to sources. The thing that Kuithe has improved on is his leadership, and he's a captain, and that wasn't Keithie's MO really earlier in his career. Not to say that he wasn't mature, but just you didn't hear Kuithe and leadership in the same sentence, and that's what you're hearing now, and that's good because he's a 5th-year guy, and they're expecting a lot from him. So the fact that he's taking more of a leading role with his teammates, I think that's important.
Josh, I've got 3 questions for you. Number one is, I know that you mentioned they'll be all sequential.
No, we're all good.
2 of them somebody paid for. So the first question is, I know you mentioned linebacker being a bit of an area of concern. You also mentioned offensive line and their ability to kind of get started, although they are obviously returning, a number of starters and, definitely some quality players there. Is there any other areas of concern on Utah? Obviously the number 7 ranked team, so quite good, but any other real concerns?
Yeah, I mean, I might be in the minority. But I think wide receiver is at least worth discussing as a concern because, again, it hasn't been a huge position of strength. Britton Covey, who went to camp with the Eagles and is legitimately vying to make their 53, Britton Covey was versatile and he could do things out of the slot. He was their best set of hands as a receiver. So they think that Devon Vele can be really good. And I'm not saying he can't, but he's never done it before. Like he's shown flashes. He's, some things here, some things there, but never like is Devon Vele going to walk into the swamp with Jason Marshall defending him and catch 7 passes? I have no idea because he's just never done it before. So I think he's capable, but I think it's worth discussing as a concern. Solomon Enos, same thing. Older guy has shown flashes, has done some things, has not done it on a consistent level. And then out of the slot, again, Covey was operating out of the slot. So you take Covey out of the mix. And what are we looking at out of the slot? Money Parks is a third-year guy in the program, has 1 career catch, caught a touchdown last year at USC. That's it. Kid by the name of Jalen Dixon. Jalen Dixon was terrific for Utah early in his career in 2018 and 2019. He had some health stuff. He stepped away from the program. Played some last year. He returned to the program last year, played some, didn't play a ton. But now, he's penciled in there as the primary slot guy, Jalen Dixon. And I'm curious to see, if Jalen Dixon turns back into Jalen Dixon of 18 and 19, Utah's offense becomes way more dynamic, way more dangerous because Jalen Dixon he's very fast and he's really, really good out of the slot. So, if Dixon can return to what he was, Utah looks much more dangerous to me.
Perfect. So question 2, shout out to Chris Sorley. What's the perception of Florida from Utah's fan base, from their coaches, the talk around the program around Florida? Obviously, there's a lot of excitement, but there's also definitely a lot of unknowns, especially outside of those that closely follow the University of Florida. What's the perception that you're hearing out in Salt Lake City?
It's a great question. I don't think there's any one answer. I mean, I think from the program perspective, from Kyle Whittingham's perspective, I think you could learn a lot from the fact that practice access for the media, practice access is never good here, but it got worse this summer. Less opportunities to talk to Kyle, less opportunities to talk to assistants, players. There was even talk last week of them not even releasing a 2-deep. So I was pleasantly surprised when it hit my email this morning. That was a window into what the program thinks of this game and how important this game is, that they were trying to block out things and minimize distractions. Yeah, I think the program is clearly viewing this as, and I've said this and written this for months, this is the most important opener in the history of Utah football, because if you win this game, everything is on the table in terms of college football playoff, what the national perception is, how a win like this can catapult your program forward. So that's the program perspective. And I think from a fan base perspective, I think it's important to be on social media and not living on the message boards, but at least, looking at the boards a couple of times a week to see what the fan base is talking about, taking the temperature. Fan base thinks this is a real deal opener. I don't think they're looking at this as it's Billy Napier's first game and it's they're projected to be 7-5. I don't think that's what this fan base thinks. I think this fan base is up for a fight. And I think the average fan believes that this is a very tough, very critical game. I don't think anybody really thinks that Utah's going to walk in there and stomp them. I certainly don't. I think this is going to be a close game no matter how it goes. But, all told, I mean, there has never been this much excitement for a Utah football season. Think how last season ended, okay? Your last, 3 of your last 4 games last year were smashing Oregon here in Utah when Oregon was number 3 in the CFP. You clinched the division that night.
Yeah.
Just smashed them. And then 13 days later, you beat them up again to win the Pac-12. And then you played this epic, iconic Rose Bowl. That was 3 of your last 4. And then you're starting this season with this type of opener, high profile, SEC opponent on the road, ESPN, primetime, the whole thing. So generally speaking, I think this fan base is very, very excited for this game.
Excellent. Last question for you. Obviously, they played Ohio State last year. You just mentioned that, faced C.J. Stroud. Last season, the defense of Utah, did they face many dual threat running kind of quarterbacks like Anthony Richardson might be? Now, I know he's a little bit different than C.J. Stroud, but
I'm trying to think. Obviously you said C.J. Stroud. They opened up with Weber. You know what? BYU has a very good, capable dual guy in Jalen Hall. Jalen Hall ran all over them that night. That was before Rising took over. But even if Rising was playing against BYU, BYU was awesome that night. When Jaron Hall gets it going, he's pretty electric. Doesn't have the stature of Anthony Richardson, but he's a very capable guy. Washington State had Jaden DeLaura, who was very good, generally very good. Utah did a nice job against him. They certainly did not see anybody of the caliber of C.J. Stroud. Even if the secondary was healthy that night, I don't know that Utah was going to find an answer for Stroud. Certainly Stroud does not throw for like 580 yards or whatever crazy number it was. But, we talked to Kyle Whittingham, and when Kyle Whittingham starts really like talking highly about a guy, that he has Kyle's attention. Kyle Whittingham came up here, and within the first 30 seconds, he started talking about Anthony Richardson and the size and the 4.3 40. He compared Anthony Richardson to Cam Newton. Again, this is not something that Kyle does generally. So when he starts pumping up a guy, it's for real, and that Kyle is at least a little bit worried. So, I'm curious to see what Anthony Richardson has. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is his first career start, yes?
No. He was thrown to the Georgia defense last year. It was a sting. It was a hit.
Yes.
Basically last year, the fan base was turning on Dan Mullen, saying Anthony Richardson should start. And Dan goes, okay, cool. Georgia has possibly the best defense ever assembled in college football. He can start this game. And it went as well as I think any freshman would play against that defense.
Sure. So, but the point I'm making is Anthony Richardson's body of work is not extensive. He has not played a ton of college football. Fine. So I think we're all a little curious to see what Anthony Richardson does in extended time, not against Georgia, in an opener, maybe in adverse weather. Kyle spoke very highly of Anthony Richardson this morning, for sure.
That's interesting that covering the team, that like your ears perk up when he's taken a step farther, mentioning somebody or just even heaping praise or just even mentioning somebody.
Right.
Him for sure. Him credentials, man. Josh, what do you think about team speed wise? How does the Utes match up with Florida?
Oh, Florida had sight unseen. I'm telling you right now, Florida has more speed than Utah. Florida better have more speed than a team like Utah, who generally recruits, 3-star guys and coaches them up. That's an interesting situation. But I will say, I'm thinking here, sitting here, Utah's cornerbacks are very shifty and fast and can make up deficits. If Anthony Richardson really has 4.3 speed and he decides to tuck it and go, that kind of goes back to, if Anthony Richardson is tucking it and getting to the second level, is 18-year-old true freshman Lander Barton going to run down Anthony Richardson? I'm not really seeing that. I don't think Diabate is Diabate that guy? No. Okay.
No.
You're all shaking your heads no. So you're all shaking your heads no. So speed is a factor, and I'm again sight unseen. Pretty sure Florida's going to have more speed than Utah.
I know you're having a practice. This will probably be quick. Who is the scout team quarterback? Who is trying to? And like you said, there's not many people in the country that look like Anthony Richardson, but who is trying to play the Anthony Richardson role?
Yeah, good question. So Nate Johnson, who is a 4-star true freshman, he has been playing the quote Anthony Richardson role. Johnson is, again, one of these kids with size, like 6'3", 220. He was a 10, 300-meter guy in high school in the state of California, which is, real deal track and field sprinting. So Utah doesn't have anybody that can really replicate Anthony Richardson, but they've thrown Nate Johnson out there just because he has, a good deal of size and he's fast as hell and he's smart. Right. So that's the best they can do. And that's not a bad look. Not every team has a Nate Johnson type of kid that you can throw out there. but they're doing their best to try to replicate it at least.
What goes wrong for I'm sorry, you had something, Nick? I don't want to cut you off, bro.
No.
Go ahead.
What goes wrong for Utah for them to lose this game?
Offensive line is not up to snuff. Again, as I said earlier, offensive line kind of has this recent history of starting off slowly, first 2 games, 3 games. But this is more of a veteran group. They tried to identify exactly what their starting 5 would look like early in camp. And once you identify it early, you can start sinking reps into your starters, right? They tried to soft sell us late in camp on like a position battle at center, a position battle at left tackle. That was garbage. They knew what their 5 would be. And look, they came out of camp healthy, which is good. As I said, they were banged up on the offensive line last year, late in camp. And that kind of led to some of the problems they had. Healthy, all camp. They know who their 5 is. But if they are not up to snuff, like early in that game Saturday, like it's going to be a problem.
You said they had the one guy mimicking. What offense are they running? Like what film are they watching? That's what I'm most curious about. Like how do they game plan for just the lack of film with Billy Napier at UF?
It's a good question. I don't have a great answer for you. That came up today during, this Kyle presser. Again, like you're trying to learn anything you can from like the Louisiana film and previous Billy Napier games, trying to learn how he operates and how he functions as a head coach. Maybe you can take some stuff away from previous Florida games under Dan Mullen, maybe not, but you're trying to find anything. Nice. And whatever spring ball stuff you can take away, it's very difficult to prepare for an opener, but it's even more difficult to prepare for a first-year staff who's never operated at Florida before. That's another like underrated thing that people are not talking about, that it's hard to prepare for a first-year head coach.
I've been talking about it, Josh.
Well, I just met you, Slick. I'm sorry.
I like Slick too, but it's
Slick Silk. Yeah. So Josh, to wrap up, we appreciate your time today. Right now, over under is Utah minus 2.5. Plus minus is 2.5, and then over under is 51. What do you expect if you're a gambling man? Which I'm not going to say you are or not. But what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, once upon a time when it was still not legal and I was in my younger days with more disposable income, I may have placed a wager or two. FYI, my instinct, without like really thinking about the point spread, I would probably take the points just because Florida is home. You're giving the home team points. I would probably veer towards that. Again, the weather and the atmosphere. Utah having to fly 2 time zones. I want to say this again, like I think the humidity is a thing. And I think Utah is going to have to account for that. So, gun to my head, so to speak, I'm probably taking Florida and the 2.5. I saw Caesars had it at 3. Anyway, I would take the points, and I would probably take the over too. I think there's going to be some points scored. Utah's offense is pretty high octane. Late last season, Utah was really going up and down the field, especially those 2 Oregon games. They put 45 points on Ohio State. Give me Florida and the over Saturday night.
Josh, you're calling out individual specific sports books. It sounds like you might still be placing a wager, and this isn't just for background or for a sidebar in the paper.
Oh, I live in the state of Utah, boys. There's no gambling in the state of Utah. I promise you that.
I know. You ain't got to tell me I know.
I love
Big Utah fan. I'm going to try to make it out to the game next year. Maybe that's something we do for Stadium and Gale.
For sure.
You know what?
Like Silk and Nick.
Yeah. You know what? Jokes aside, like if you guys have an opportunity to come out here next year, for the Utah Florida game, it is genuinely like one of the coolest like backdrop atmospheres with the mountains, and it's if you can get out here, it should be a bucket list thing for all college football fans.
For sure. My company will pay for me to be there. I just got sent pictures from my buddy who covers USC.
Mine too.
Sunset over the mountains from the press box looked beautiful.
Yeah,
you're gonna
very
see,
important.
You're gonna see cranes. Those are the mountains in Gainesville. Cranes.
Very important question. One meal in Gainesville. Where am I eating?
The newly opened Swamp Restaurant.
Swamp Restaurant. All right.
Yeah, so Swamp. Well, I mean, it's probably not going to be the best food. Nick will say Embers. I
What?
think he just did.
That's
It's
a-
not
that's a
going to be the
negotiable.
best food.
Yeah.
It's
What?
not going to be the best food.
No, but it is going to be the best atmosphere. It was here for 30 years. Got bulldozed to build apartments, something that Gainesville desperately needed and didn't have enough of. So they just built a new one in a new area close to campus. Definitely the best Gainesville game day vibe.
Okay, done deal.
Friday night Embers.
Nick will take you out. He'll pay too.
Get a nice steak at Embers Friday night.
You got the company
Dean's gonna
card?
Pay for that
No,
one,
you're on the road. You're on the road.
Touche. No problem.
I love
You're
it.
on-
Well,
you're
Josh,
on the
we
road.
appreciate
Tell the Tribune.
Yeah, that's right. Josh, we appreciate it so much. Why don't you plug where everybody can read and follow you leading up to the Utah game?
I appreciate that, Dan. So my Twitter handle will have all the links, everything, in-game stuff. If Florida fans want to do that, my Twitter handle is Joshua_Newman, linking everything there. If you want to hit the website, I'm at the Salt Lake Tribune. That's sltrib.com.
Perfect. So again, at _Josh or Josh_Newman.
Joshua_Newman.
Yep. Perfect. Well, appreciate that so much. Josh, we'll throw that up on the screen so everybody can follow. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your flight to Gainesville and have fun on Saturday night.
See you guys Saturday. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Josh Newman from the Salt Lake Tribune.
Josh might have swayed my pick later in the show.
Oh,
I won't do any spoilers.
You gotta have a stranger come talk you into some Gator vibes.
Yeah.
man.
I've been talking to Josh for 2 weeks.
Nick's eyes lit up when he said that Mahmoud Diabate was going to have to chase down Anthony Richardson. Nick's like, oh, well, if that's what we're leaving it with, then I like my chances.
Oh man, that sounds like a good time.
Let's give a quick shout out to our friends.
Not for Mahmoud.
Yeah, not for Mahmoud. Get his name right
Sounds
this
like a
time,
good
too. Quick shout out to our friends over at Home Field Apparel. Had a couple people actually reach out this weekend asking for the promo code. If you're looking for vintage Florida Gators wear, go visit homefieldapparel.com. Promo code Stadium and Gale, all one word. 17 different items to choose from: t-shirts, hoodies, men's, women's, vintage, and just really great products. Soft feel t-shirts, wear great, really hold up in the washing machine after a lot of wears and everything else. So go check them out, homefieldapparel.com. Promo code Stadium and Gale for all your vintage UF gear. And I think they're up to about 50 or 60 different schools now. And then for Harrison's sake, maybe the only Indianapolis Colts fan I know, they're opening up a new NFL relationship with them.
That's
where
a
they're
wild
gonna
bandwagon to
vintage-
jump on.
Yeah, Harrison roots for some interesting teams. They're kind of all over the map. But we go check them out, homefieldapparel.com, promo code Stadium and Gale. They're based in Indiana, so I understand their connection. Harrison's,
That's a nasty.
I've got to ask him.
Got
to ask him. All right. So let's hop back into a discussion about the Florida Utah game. Silk obviously had a good conversation with Josh. Any thoughts that you took away from him?
No. Kind of what I expected. It's gonna be a well-coached team, disciplined team. I do think we have some advantages like speed-wise and just overall talent-wise, but we got to execute and do a whole lot of stuff. It's our first game as well, but I don't know, man. I feel real good about my starters and just watching what they got coming back. There's nothing explosive that scares me, that could just blow the top off our defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think more of the advantages in our hands for us scheme-wise. I think we could kind of dial up exactly what they want to do. A lot of film on them from last year. Kyle Whittingham's entire career, tendencies, they have no idea what we're about to do with AR. It's gonna be something totally different than he's done. He's never had this type of talent before.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I took away from Josh is that comparison to, I already forget the BYU's quarterback's name, but just that they weren't able to stop him running.
I believe it was Hall.
And if it's wet, like if it's raining, you're probably going to lean on the run. And if you're asking Mahmoud to chase down Anthony, or like he said, a freshman DB trying to make a business decision, in front of 90,000 people on ESPN? Do I want to get run over? Or do I just try to dive at this man's ankles?
I think
I'm diving at ankles.
Yeah, and I mean the coward out. I think the big thing that I noticed, or that he talked about, that I think is a question mark for the Gators, is Utah's tight ends. Florida's going to have to rely, pretty heavily on some linebackers that haven't shown great experience in coverage over the last few years. You do have some more athletic players, hopefully up to that billing this year with Derek Wingo, and you get Ventrell Miller back, and hopefully they're able to cover that a little bit better. But that's certainly a big question mark for me if they're running a lot of crossing routes down the middle.
If they come out in 12 personnel, what does our start to look like? Do we go?
They will come out in 12. They'll come out in 12. They'll come out in 13. They are a Big Ten, old school Big Ten. They will put a bunch of big dudes on the field, no problem, a bunch. I think if you do that, I don't know what Florida changes. You have your 4 starters on the defensive line, or 3 starters on the defensive line, your Jack linebacker and Cox, and then you've got Bernie and Miller. I think Shamar James will play, but I don't think maybe at some point, if you adjust, you go to 3 linebackers and you put Shamar in there.
Bernie's back in health. I know he was out for a while, so Bernie's starting this week.
Yep. Yeah, Bernie was up for the Lance Armstrong Fall Camp Award, riding the bike. But he talked to us. He talked to us today, and Billy's not going to send an injured player to media. So Bernie told us today that he's 100% healthy, ready to go.
I'm ready to be disappointed again. Any other concerns?
Brant Keithy. Florida does not have an answer. There's no answer for him.
For who?
Brant Keithy, the tight end that I asked him about.
Yeah.
There's no answer for him?
That was the one that he didn't have a question, or that he didn't know how to pronounce.
So they should just throw to him every play, is what you're saying.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
So, Nick, without watching a ton of game film on Utah, which I didn't, obviously a big guy, but is he pretty physical? Is he fast? Is it a mixture of both? I mean, who are we comparing him to? Is he he's like, is he a Tate Casey type? Is he a
no? So he's used like Kyle Pitts, but more of a Trey Burton size. He's bigger than Trey Burton. He's 6'2", like 220. He's basically a really big wide receiver. A really big wide receiver. Who?
Amari Burns.
Amari Burns not covering him.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, you're right.
I like Amari Burney to maybe run beside him and cover him. I just don't like him to do other things in the run defense. That would be my scary part with Burney, but I'm not a 6'2" tight end. I'm mad that you ever mentioned Kyle Pitts. That's disrespectful.
No. I wasn't comparing him to Kyle Pitts.
Nick did.
No. I said he's used the way that Florida used Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts would play with his hand in the dirt. He played in the slot. They
should use a 6'2" guy receiver. He's a receiver. I don't know, man. I haven't seen a lot on film that scares me with him. He has a lot of production, but I don't see anything that frightens me that we should be. If our starters can't cover this guy, we can't get a safety. DeJuan, Black, Wingo. These guys are athletic linebackers, man. Somebody got to be able to run with a 6'2" wide receiver that's shifty. But he do pose a threat, and somebody gonna score points on us. So he's probably one of those guys that's gonna score points on us.
Like a Brevin Jordan type.
Somebody gonna score,
bro. You're naming second and third string linebackers.
I said somebody.
I think they're going to cover an all Pac-12 tight end.
The all Pac-12 tight end is 6'2". That's crazy to me.
That's the past, Nick.
Okay. Not here to talk about the past, Mark McGuire.
Yeah. We're talking about the future. There's no awards for this season. Everybody's on everybody's on an equal playing field now. But what does Florida do, right? So you obviously have some questions at linebacker. Do you throw another safety on top? Do you throw a bigger safety, more into the linebacker package and just increase your size there to be able to, or increase your speed there to be able to keep up with that? Or is that just something that Florida's going to have to scheme around?
If a 6'2" safety is giving us the business, we deserve to lose, bro.
Tight end, yeah.
Tight end. I'm sorry. I just don't see that being an issue. I think that the run game is what I'm more like concerned with. our defensive tackle depth is an issue. So it's gonna be hot and sweaty for our guys as well. Those big guys, I hope they're in shape because Utah gonna run the ball. I'm more concerned with the run game, and if we can start the run, we're gonna beat this team.
Yeah. No, I think Utah has definitely got some great skill at running back, and I think that that's beyond just being in the Pac-12 and them just putting up good numbers. I think that they've got great talent there. I do think that Cam Rising is a very good quarterback. He came in last season, put up great numbers. Utah had 2 tough losses early on in the season. I think they were 1-2 when he took over and rattled off 10 straight victories. He's going to get the ball out. He was able to do a lot last year, and I think that he's better than probably last season, obviously with another offseason under his belt. But I do think that they return a lot of weapons. So I think that he's going to be good. Florida's, chance to win this game really relies on, that defensive line and being able to force him to make quick passes, and force him not to get beat by a 6'2" tight end.
That's wild. I can't wait. Can't wait for next week's show. 6'2" tight end.
I'm just repeating what Slick said.
This kid can play. The kid can
play. I didn't say he can't play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can.
You're just calling him tiny.
Yeah, he's got a scholarship.
I expect him to show up and maybe score some touchdowns, Nick. But
you're like, old tiny Tim over there.
If he's the reason we're getting barbecued and we can't figure out how to stop a 6'2" tight end, man, then we got real problems, bro. I just think as an outfit, the entire team, they're great. They're a great program. Them guys are going to be disciplined. I don't know how much the stadium noise is going to affect their communication. We'll see. They're not a team that, like we said, they don't have deep threats. So I'm not frightened about like the explosive plays. We probably could get gashed. That's what we've seen in the past. A lot of just so much we don't know.
Right.
We guessing a lot as well because we don't know what to expect to see. We saw a spring game that was very vanilla. We don't know what to expect from stunt wise, how Tony Patrick's going to attack that offense. So, I mean, we're kind of guessing as well, but I like my talent. I think we're the more talented team. And I think the place like the Swamp is a hard place to play. And I don't think they ever played in an environment like this before in their lives.
Yeah, I think that regardless who the coach is, unless it's Nick Saban, I think the first game of the season's always a lot to work out. Kinks, no matter how much of your roster is returning, there's still a lot of time off. It is a completely different atmosphere. It is far away. It is unusual for most of them. They don't have a lot of players from Florida. It's definitely going to be different, right? So I'm not going to say that Florida's going to come out and look perfect either or has a massive, advantage because they are playing at home. But I do think playing in a familiar territory, with certainly a lot of talent, I think matches up well for Florida now compared to playing them 7-8 wins this season, because I do think that Kyle Whittingham is a great coach, and there's a reason he's been there for 18 years now, right? He took over for Urban Meyer, so
right.
There's a reason why he's still there. But I think that Florida getting him on game 1 is a better chance for Florida than getting him on game 7 or 8. So perfect. Let's see a couple comments. Larry on. Noted Miami podcaster quoting Nick saying Miami finna feast on our defense. Sorry, finna feast on our defense.
So put that boy in shackles, man.
Let's see.
Oh, he's only 6'2", so practically a midget.
We had a debate.
Probably the greatest 6'2" tight end of all time for sure.
Braxton, shout out to Braxton, everyone that's in here, hit that thumbs up button. Yes, if you can, please show us love. It's free to hit that thumbs up button, to like, subscribe, throw us a comment. It all helps with getting Stadium and Gale out there. He also told me that we had bad eating recommendations. Maybe the Swamp restaurant was bad eats.
Bro,
Heard some of his takes.
The Swamp is a good college bar.
Swamp is a great. It is a great atmospheric bar. I feel like I set it up nicely.
Told a grown man from New York to go to a college bar for his one trip to Gainesville.
If you are going to Gainesville, yes, eat at a college bar.
No.
Why? You're in a college town, eat at a college bar.
Yeah. No, Nick,
I feel like I'm not dumb here, right? Like he's obviously had better steak than
he want the vibes.
No offense.
He want the vibes, man. I would have sent them to White Buff. You know me, man.
Just get him a table at White Buff.
Hey, how's the food? I don't know, bro.
I don't know, bro. I think there's a hot dog guy outside.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you think the views are nice in Salt Lake City? Take a look inside White Buffalo.
You might get a residency and stay out here, fam.
Oh man, let's see. Got to eat at McDonald's. Prime and Pearl, haven't eaten there. Nick, that's from super producer Cam.
Had a beautiful 60-day first wet age, then dry age, 30 days. Beautiful.
So it's dry aged and then wet aged, or
no
reverse?
wet aged for 30 days, then dry aged.
I got to know the science behind it, because it seems like we're doing the opposite here. Seems like we've counterbalanced it a little bit.
It was fantastic.
I got to ask Shannon Snell about that. David Steven asks, is DeJuan Black going to see the field this year?
Yeah, he's going to see it for sure. He's going to be on the sideline. So, I think he's going to play. I do think he's going to play. Special teams for sure. But he'll get opportunities at the linebacker position. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity in the linebacker room, man. Maybe starting game one.
One update there is Scooby Williams has really worked a ton inside.
I heard that.
And the staff likes Scooby at inside. And I think that's a player who will challenge DeJuan for reps.
Bama boys making some noise, man.
Yeah, no, heard a lot about Scooby. Adams barbecue is a must before the game. I'm a big fan of Adams, like Sonny's, like Shannon Snell, but I'm going to go Adams barbecue. Nick Selk, you had any barbecue suggestions? Well, Selk, no offense, your opinion's a little bit less impactful here, but
my barbecue talk is mid.
I like Hogtown downtown more than Adams.
Okay. All right. And then we just got a question. John Wilcox, appreciate the super chat. Other coaches with similar systems suffered a bad loss in their first year. Do you think Coach Billy Napier can find the line between setting us up to win now and the program for the future? Might need some more clarification, but yeah.
I think, I'm negative Nick on the show. So I think if Florida goes 7-5 and finishes with a top 10 recruiting class, depending on how those losses look, I think it's a pendulum. Okay, do you go 8-3, but you're blown out by Utah, blown out by Georgia, and blown out by A&M? Do you feel good about that 8-3 versus a 7-5 where you're competitive against Utah, 8-4, where you're competitive against Utah, you're competitive against Georgia, you're competitive against an LSU, and you have a good recruiting class? I think the way that the losses happen and how they happen matter more than just the actual number at the end of the year. So I think a bad loss, would you consider like a Kentucky a bad loss? No, that's I watched that game Saturday. I don't think you can take anything away from that. But if you lose,
it sounds like you are.
If you lose to Florida State, that's an atrocious loss at the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Atrocious. That's not a bad. That's another step.
Yeah, I think it depends on how the team looks, right? How committed they are. I mean, obviously, if you have some injuries, some major injuries, obviously that can derail your season without derailing Billy Napier's tenure. I think what a lot of people are looking for improvement, looking for the opportunity for Anthony Richardson's growth and starting to piece together, some of the younger players, right? They recruited well to end the last class. There's some guys on campus. I'm not going to be one to say, Dan Mullen recruited a bunch of mid. I think that they've got some talented players that they can develop and be able to, compete well in the SEC. I don't know if they can win the SEC, with those guys, but you can build on that and you continue to recruit well. I think that's what, Florida fans are going to be looking for. I don't expect a perfect season. I think I've gone on record to say 9-3. But I think that Florida definitely has an opportunity to show, or Billy Napier has an opportunity to show fans that the team is heading in the right direction, which is, I think, what they want.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be reiterating a lot of what y'all said. 8-4, the right wins, right L's, progress. You damn sure gotta have offense and just keep that trend of what Dan Mullen got going, because we went a long time with no offense until he came back and corrected some things. So just keep the offense going. Keep recruiting. It'll be all right.
My worry with Billy, and after watching a ton of like UL stuff, obviously. Your talent level there is not what you have here, but is your talent level. He had the best team after 4 years of recruiting at UL in the Sun Belt. So he had the Alabama of the Sun Belt. So the level of your talent, even though it's better here than you had at UL, is not what it is when you play Georgia. So my interesting thing would be, how do you coach on Saturday to minimize that gap that the previous coaching staff left you? The talent gap on your roster between you and Georgia.
I mean, he did a lot of his early tenure at Louisiana. He did a lot of possessing the ball, playing with the clock, either tempo. that's been his trend of getting over and finding like loopholes and ways of finding possess the ball, just keeping the defense off the field. So I think that's gonna be something. It's gonna be either we going fast or we slowing it down. It's gonna be tempo. It's gonna be a very big key thing, and I think in Billy Napier's start here in the offense, and we'll get to see what that is game 1. What do you think? Speed it up or slow it down?
Slow. I think that's what I'm worried about is if the team is not winning games, it's not going to be a fun offense to watch because I think they're going to try to slow it down, win the time of possession.
That's his bag.
Wear them down. That's what Billy likes to do, but that's not fun to watch. And I've seen Florida fans get mad at coaches because even when they're winning, the offense wasn't sexier. You didn't score enough points. And I don't think, at least in this first year, that Billy Napier is going to try to run super fast and hike the ball with 20 seconds left on the clock. Like they're going to take their time, try to control the possession.
I think the run game could get explosive enough where like it becomes like a faster tempo. If
you break explosives for sure, but
right.
But that's.
But I think if you go back to Muschamp, Nick, the biggest thing wasn't that it was a slow offense. It was not that it was just an unsexy offense. They couldn't move the ball in general, right? Like you can be a slower moving offense and still be productive and still be explosive at times without being, a high tempo, fast paced offense. So I'd be curious to see how it all, does shake out. I think that, Florida, depending on how the team continues to gel together and how much, I guess support he has behind, Anthony Richardson to be able to lead. I wouldn't be surprised if it maybe is a little bit faster, than what you are used to expecting, out of a Will Muschamp, kind of that slower, offense. I mean, I think Billy Napier's got a good, offensive mind, and I think he's going to know how to, keep teams a little bit more off balance. So even if it is slower, I don't anticipate a snail's pace, and I definitely don't want to compare it to slow football that we've seen before because that was just atrocious offense, not just slow offense.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. What do you guys first play out of the huddle? What do you think's called?
Yeah, I mean, but back when I played NCAA, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to put 4 out. We're going to streak, and we're going to just throw the deep pass.
I'm glad you do it. Calling the plays, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a counter run. 4 yards. Naquan right to the right side.
They'll run a play action first play.
Back them up.
Play action first play. You'll have a deep shot, but you'll have a couple under options there. But I think first play will be a play action. But I'm still riding with my 60-40 run to pass.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you too. I think it depends on what the look is like, but I think they give him some options, and if it's there, if they trying to disrespect and load the box, I think we take a shot.
I'm just happy that Nick said this is going to be a very slow, very methodically moving offense, and his first play is a
play action.
Who you throwing that to?
A play action deep pass.
Who you throwing that to?
No, I said they'll have somebody running deep. I have no faith.
Congratulations, Nick! You just named 95% of plays on offense.
I said
it's called hedging your bets.
I don't have any faith in Florida's receivers until I see it. So you can run your 4 verts. I can run my play action.
I like the QB rocker step with streaks.
There you go. I just don't until I see Florida's receivers.
You better run by these Utes, man.
What's a Ute?
I don't know.
I see a tight end play right in front of Diabate.
Okay, there you go.
I got a lot of first plays, so if it is the first play,
Dan has many first plays.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. You guys know I'm going to Hawaii on Friday. I'm actually not going to be able to see this game live. I will be in a car driving down to Hana, not trying to flex or anything. So I'm going to watch this game post. I got to figure out a time to watch it, but you got to let me know if I'm right. Got to shoot a text over.
Brag on yourself a little bit right now. This is state number
50. Yeah, this will be the last one.
Oh, so now you've been there to stay, huh?
Yeah,
that's impressive, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Told my fiance Dan was going to his 50th state. She said, "What 2 is he missing?"
That's nuts. That's nuts. John Wilcox, he threw us money earlier. He thinks it's going to be 3 yards and a cloud of dust. Punts on 4th down.
I have a feeling that Billy's not a big punt guy, and it hurts my heart. Hurts my heart.
DK's wondering if your girlfriend's an FSU grad.
UCF, baby.
Makes sense. Let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at Alumni Hall.
Could have got her a fate ring, Nick.
I should have. You're right.
Go visit alumnihall.com or go visit them off of Archer Road. If you're going to be in Gainesville this weekend, they do have the best selection of Gators gear in all of Gainesville right there on Archer Road. They just did expand. I believe that there was a Lululemon store right next door that they moved into to add on as an addition, pardon me. Best stuff on the market right now. They got a bunch of new Peter Millar stuff in. I grabbed myself one of those retro polos the other day. But really great stuff. Men, women, children, accessories, things for your car to wear at game day, things to wear at home, formal, informal, whatever it might be. Alumnihall.com or visit them on Archer Road, not too far off of 75. All right, boys, we are picking some of our team. Again, we're starting to round this out. So we picked coaching staff last week. I won by a wide margin, according to Twitter, which is, I think, only my second win. But if you calculate all of the other losses that I've had, they don't even, compare. We're playing catch up still. We're going to do punter, kicker, kick returner, and punt returner. It is time to do the wheel of names. Let me pull that up.
Not prepared off for this, but
yeah, well, this will give you.
Silk was calling the wheel racist last week.
It might be again this week, depending on where I land, Nick.
All right. So, Dan, Slick.
All situational.
All right. So, let's share screen. Chrome tab. Just letting people know that are listening in their car what we got going on here. All right. So, we got Silk, Dan, and Nick.
In that wheel.
Looks like we've got.
Oh, Dan said
racist ass wheel.
This is somebody else got to spin the wheel, Nick. This is the setup.
Can you hear it clapping?
Yeah, sure.
That's nice. I love that. All right, so then
here we go. Let's see if this thing's racist.
It looks like it.
Oh my God! What is going on, fam?
Yeah. Woo,
man.
Hey, go spin it one more time so Silk can see his name get picked.
All right.
Just
a
record. It's a record now.
No whammies. Stop. All right, perfect.
Hey. The rainbow
make sure the
coalition
clap happens. There it is. Perfect. I love the random screen of the wheel. All right. So we've got kicker, punter, kick returner, and punt returner. I saw Eddie Pinheiro tried out for, what was it, the Panthers yesterday? After he was released. Let's see. I think I'm going to go kickers. I think I'm going to go with Stadium and Gale legend, Caleb Sturgis.
Brandon James. Wild that you just let me take the best punt returner in school history right off the bat. Congratulations on your kicker. Silk, go ahead.
Man, let me go ahead. That's crazy. That's insane. Let me get under the bowls, man. Kickoff return.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm gonna go.
Nope.
You turn. You too.
I was about to let him pick, see what he was working with.
He did that to you once.
Yeah. Punt returner. Do I want to go punt returner? Give me Caleb Sturgis.
Already picked.
Did I pick Caleb Sturgis?
Yeah, that was the first one.
That was the number one pick.
Good one. Let me get Chaz Henry.
Oh, very good.
I think Jaquez Green was better on punts. But can I make him my kick returner? Yeah, I'll go Quezzy as my kick returner. Got punt and kick. They're interchangeable.
That's who I was going to pick. I'll go Lito Shepherd. I think he had the best return in UF history. And then I know my punter will still be available. So I might go with Antonio Callaway.
I like that.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go for kicker and take Evan McPherson off the board.
Nice.
I'm trying to let one of you guys pick a Townsend so I don't have to pick one.
Tell me who to pick, bro.
I don't know which one to pick.
You got to pick a punter because you don't have one. You got two.
He has Chaz Henry.
I got Chaz Henry as a punter.
Unless he puts Chaz Henry at kicker, which we saw.
No, that'd be a
He
grievance.
could.
Why would I do that?
No,
Chaz,
he beat Georgia.
Chaz did that, but no, I don't want him as my steady kicker, man. We're gonna let Chaz punt the ball. Big leg Chaz. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yep.
You've got another punter and a kicker to go.
Jeff Chandler.
All right.
I got a punt returner, right? Give me key one.
You have Debo's.
That's kick return. I got punt returner.
They
right?
need a punt returner. Yeah.
Key one. Give me key one, right?
I just need a punter.
That sounds right.
I'm gonna go with the elder Townsend. Take Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny Townsend, I think are statistically the best punter in UF history.
Most punts and most yards in a single season. I think most punts in a
I
career.
believe Jacob Finn tied him, if I'm looking at these numbers correctly.
When?
In his career.
Oh, in his career.
So yeah.
See what we got here.
Let's see. Kyle Christie was that guy back in the day.
Kyle Christie got benched
He
for
did.
Johnny Townsend, ruined
Yep.
Johnny's redshirt freshman year.
I like Stadium and Gale guest Shane Edge as well. But I think I'm going to go with a friend of the program, friend in real life. I'll go with Eric Wilbur. Looks like I won again. So
I feel like I have a strong special teams unit.
I think mine's solid, man. I think
I think this is the closest we've ever gotten. As egregious as I was for not picking Brandon James number one.
Brandon James had to be the number one overall pick.
I don't know how you dropped the ball on that.
The same way that I dropped the ball on picking Channing Crowder over Brandon Spikes. Just sometimes you just overthink these things. And
Dan is mentally in Hawaii.
I would be too. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Mr. Marquise is wondering. Yeah, let us know in the chat who you guys pick. So I have Caleb Sturgis, Lito Shepard, Antonio Callaway, and Eric Wilbur. Nick has Brandon James, Jaquez Green, Evan McPherson, and Johnny Townsend. And then Slick Silk has Debos, Chaz Henry, Jeff Chandler, and Kewan Ratliff. Let us know what you guys
My shit going to the crib, man. I got DeBose and Rat, bro. Big punter, bro.
So next, Bo Carroll should have been a return guy. That's actually a guy that I was picking between him and Antonio Callaway. I've learned that our fan base doesn't always know people in the past.
Big Bo
so you have to go with some of the more familiar names in order to compete in these competitions. Judd Davis, a good pick. Chris Sorley thought Nick won. So we'll let the fans decide once again there. Let's give a shout out to our friends over at True Classic Tees. Visit them, trueclassictees.com. That's true, spelt the normal way, classic, spelt the normal way, and tees, spelt TEES.com/SG25 or SG25 at checkout. Workout shirts, plain t-shirts, polos. Nick, I sent you one. Thought it was very nice, very soft. Great quality products. Go check them out. trueclassictees.com/SG25. Are you guys ready for a buy or sell segment?
I'm ready. Is buy or sell Ben ready?
Buy or sell Ben is ready. He's ready with the graphics.
Buy or sell Ben stepped his game up. Shout out to Ben. I know you're listening because you can't do the graphics without listening to this. Shout out to you. It was looking clean on the timeline.
Did you read what Ben's doing? He's trying to knock out 60 college football games this season. He's going on a road trip.
That's awesome. I'm going to go to 13, 14, maybe 15.
Who knows?
Man, hey, I like you for 15.
I like you for 15. All right, boys. Buy or sell. The Gators beat Utah.
Oh, yeah, I'm buying it. What we talking?
Let's
make
get
it rain,
negative
baby.
Nick ready.
Buying it, baby.
So
People gotta come see us, Nicholas.
yeah, number 7's coming to see you.
They gotta come see us. And so, what number is the Diabate? What number did they give him?
I don't know. What number
Is he
is
11?
Also, the guy that is no disrespect to him, but the guy that is scout team Anthony Richardson is 6'191". He's even smaller smaller than the midget that Silk said is playing tight end.
Wait, I thought they said he was like 6'3",
They're not calling a guy a
220.
midget, man.
Nate Johnson, 6'191".
Man,
Yeah,
I don't know if I can believe anything else Josh said. He said
Josh he
6'3",
gave it up for
220.
us. He gave us some love. He said he was
No, I know, but
Ooh, boy,
Diabate's number 3.
They got my mood in that single-digit 3.
Number 3.
Looking clean, Under Armour. Protect this house.
Protect this
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
I'm gonna. You know what? You only have
Dan, you're
one
buying.
chance
Come
to
on.
live in life. I'm gonna go with the Gators upsetting the Utah Utes.
What are we talking?
I'm gonna
What are we
buy the
talking?
Florida.
It's not no
win.
upset, man. I'm expecting to win, bro. So,
Well, it is going to be an upset,
It's an upset.
by betting numbers and by us being unranked and them not.
I'm a
Now,
fan.
psychologically, how you want to think of it is, up to you. All
What
right,
else we got?
so
Let's go down.
we got buy, and of course Nick is selling. Buy or sell Anthony Richardson throws 225 yards or more.
Buying it.
Throws for 225?
Throws for 225 yards or more.
So. Josh was talking. He might run for 225.
Yeah, I'm going to sell. I do think that he gets 200, somewhere between 200 and 225. So I'm going to sell that. Buy or sell, the Gators run for more than 250 yards.
Yeah, they're gonna have
combined.
To. I think it's gonna be a productive game on both sides, man. Like the guy, the Utes guy, Josh Newman spoke about it being a high scoring game. Take the over. I think it's gonna be some going up and down the field, running or passing. But I don't think 225 yards is a lot of yards these days.
Nick,
before Dan ups it, buy. My first buy of the season.
Wow.
What'd you buy? You bought the yards?
He's going to buy 250 rushing yards or more.
Oh, rushing. Yeah, you got to buy that.
All right. I'm going to buy that as well. I think the Florida feasts in the backfield. Buy or sell, the Gators get more than 1.5 turnovers.
It's going to be wet.
Pause.
It's going to be wet out there.
Bigger pause.
Okay, God. It's trying to podcast, bro.
It's a family show.
It's a family show. Dan. What you said? 1.5 turnovers? Yeah, I think we get a couple. I think we can get 2. It's wet.
Bye.
Strip sack. Yeah.
Bye. Gervon Dexter, more than 1.5 sacks.
I'll sell that. D tackle, man.
So
I'm going to buy. That's the only way this segment's fun. And finally, the Gators. Ricky Pearsall leads the team in receiving yards for the game.
I'll buy it.
Ricky Pearsall leading
the Gators in receiving
yards or catches.
We can do yards. Sorry, that was a question I just thought of off the top of my head.
I could tell.
Had the other ones ready.
See your wheels spinning.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna buy.
That's a tough scene for me because I bought that he would be the leading receiver all season.
Nick, you have never once had a public perception of your taste.
I won buy or sell last year.
I don't know if we ever got a full and accurate count.
I won buy or sell last year.
How you prove it?
Yeah, prove it.
Yeah,
Ben,
pull the receipt.
Ben quit. Ben was like, it's a clusterfuck, man. It just started fresh.
Ben like soaks. Like Ben's like, Dan quit. I quit. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out, man. Let's not keep track of that stuff, man.
I won buy or sell last year.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy this one. Any other final buy or sell question that you guys can think of? I mean, Ben's graphic went on forever, so we can just keep adding. He's got a lot of time in the car, it seems.
You want to do overall season, or we just do it this week?
No, we're gonna tabulate them throughout the entire season.
No, overall season win total to get it.
Sure, why the hell not? Let's do that.
Nick winning buy or sell.
Yeah, if Nick wins buy or sell, that equals a coach being fired. That's right, because it means it's negative and things are going downhill. I like what you think, John. We all won.
We all won. No, I won.
No, we definitely won.
All right, here's some buy or sell.
Vegas has the line at 7. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, go.
Vegas has the line at 7.5. So it would be an over/under of buy or sell 8 wins or more.
I'm going to buy.
I'm buying it.
I'm buying it. I'm buying it at 8-4.
That's
right
crazy.
At 8-4.
Who are you?
You changed in just 2 weeks.
These days?
You're losing to Utah.
Oh.
Kentucky. No.
Wow.
You're losing to Utah, A&M, Georgia.
Kentucky with the running back out too?
No. I'm saying I misspoke. You're losing to Utah, Georgia, A&M, and then there's one game in there that you shouldn't lose, but you do because that's what Florida does.
All right.
It's 8-4.
All right. Over under, the Gators have 1.5 players on first, second, or third team All-America lists.
How many?
1.5. Now, I feel like I got to put a stipulation on because there's like 37 of them, so I'm not going to include like the Pro Football Focused one. So just I think there's like 2 main ones, right? Like there's the AP.
The ones that get you a break.
Yeah.
There's 5.
Yeah, give me the under.
All right. So of the main 5 that get you a brick, the Gators have 1.5.
You're basically saying, will somebody get a brick this year?
No, I'm saying that
more than one person.
2 players would have to get a brick.
So. Bro, it's been like one brick in the last.
You can't bring up the question and we all sell.
It's been like
should I have done 0.5?
One brick in the last 7 years. Will they get 2 this
brother.
year?
Jeez.
That's a hard brick to get, Ryan. You got to really put in some work. Go ahead, Dan.
I'll just buy whatever. What the hell?
Yeah,
this isn't real money. This is fantasy land, right? 300 miles down from Gainesville, they're playing fantasy. Build a stadium. I can play fantasy. UF has 2 All-Americans. All right, and then Anthony Richardson makes it to New York City for the Heisman Trophy ceremony.
I think if he's healthy, he'd make it there, man. In my mind, that's how my mind is made up. If he's healthy, he makes it to New York City. So I'm buying it.
I'm gonna sell. I think if he gets there, then Florida wins 10 games. Like if Florida wins 10 games this year, it's because of Anthony Richardson, and then that would get him there. I don't think Anthony Richardson gets to New York on a 7-5 or an 8-4 Florida.
Yeah, I think with everything that we've just
Tebow
said
won
about
it with that type of. Tebow won it with how many wins?
They went 9-3 that year, right?
Yeah, he also was like breaking records.
Yeah, we talking about just getting there though.
Was the first 20-20, 20 passing, 20 rushing. He broke Herschel Walker's record that year, I think, too.
For talking about getting there though. I ain't talking about winning it. We just talking about getting there.
Yeah.
True. I think I'm gonna sell. I think that Anthony Richardson's gonna have a great year, but I think that there's a lot of big names that kind of have a leg up on him, and part of it is a marketing campaign more than anything. So,
I like David Stevens' question. Anthony Richardson returns to UF next year, buy or sell?
So you go first.
Selling.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you have him in New York, you almost have to sell. Nick, what about you?
I'm selling. It would be incredible for Florida to go 8-4, and for Richardson to play just average enough to go 8-4 and not to get the grade that he wants to come back. But I think even if Florida goes 8-4, he is going to show enough that like enjoy these next 12, 13 games.
Y'all about to be mad at Mullen, man.
I am going to I'm going to buy. I think that he needs 2 really good years. I think that he's a physical specimen. I think that he's going to do great, but I think that he needs 2 years. And I think, God willing, for the Florida coaching staff, they need him there for the next 2 years, because what's after that?
Spooky season.
Spooky season.
Shout out to spooky season. Business is business.
Business is business. That's right. He is making pretty good money. There's potentially a chance for him to make even bigger money if he does come back. So we will see. But join us for every week. And then follow Ben Chase. I think it's Ben G. Chase online to keep
Ben,
us
what
honest.
it do, man? Quit documenting my lies, fam.
It is at Ben G. Chase. Honorary host.
Honorary host. Anything else you guys want to talk about recruiting wise or anything else? I know that there's a couple crystal balls that have rolled in for the Gators. A big name that people have been talking about recently is 2024 edge Darius Ways. Right now he's Florida, although that he's probably still quite a bit out. Safety Bryce Thornton and obviously cornerback Dijon Johnson we've talked a lot about as well. 4 or 5 star depending on the service. Offensive tackle Monroe Freeling is announcing his commitment here shortly. I think it is today, actually. So by the time you listen to this, he'll probably have already announced Florida is a finalist, but we do not expect him to commit to Florida and likely going to Georgia. Before we leave, Silk, Nick, your thoughts. Unique 863 asks, could NIL keep Anthony here? I think so. I think it depends on how well of a season. I think if he makes it to New York, no. I think that if he has a good but not great year where he's maybe a late first, second, or even second or third round guy, I think that NIL could certainly keep him here.
Go ahead, Silk. I'm looking something up real quick.
Nah, man, I think NFL money and real money in the real life and the real world is gonna be too crazy for him to come back. A lot of the numbers y'all seeing in this NIL, like these people aren't real millionaires. These kids aren't really getting checks like that. And I just don't see. I think outside of injury, I just think his upside is gonna be second to none with guys in the NFL. He's gonna go run a 4.3 40 and jump through the gym like he's LeBron James. I just don't see it being a thing.
The one thing is there's no salary cap. You could get Hugh Hathcock and Gary Condren and
I have to see it. I haven't seen
Bill Hebner to get together and to give him a crazy NIL deal. But then still for the NIL deal, you're not getting a check. It's not like you're signing a contract and you get your signing bonus. You have to go and go and meet with fans and sign, go on a podcast, go and do all these things to get $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 at a time. You look at the top 4 picks signing bonus. Trayvon Walker got 24.3, Aiden Hutchinson 23.1, Derek Stingley 22.3, Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner 21.5. Like
checks, baby.
And they're not getting that 21 million, but that 20 million is prorated over 4 years. So you're getting a $4 million check when you sign. And that money's direct deposit in the account. You don't have to go and do all this other stuff to do it. Not to mention, you've already dealt with injuries. So if you get through this season injury-free, have a good year, and you get the opportunity to be a first-round draft pick, it makes no sense for him to come back. I would love it.
I don't see it.
That'd be dope. But I don't see it happen.
Yeah, I think it all depends.
Bobby goes, buy on AR returning, or else we're in trouble.
That's a great point.
He went to the next point. DJ Lagway had to come in and play. Yeah, that's the vibes you got to start going with.
He's a 24.
In this line of thinking. Yeah,
he's 24.
Yeah,
so he's not
would
coming
need
in
one more year.
Yeah, you need to stop gap. That's it.
Maybe just requalify for the 2023 class. Who knows?
We're playing a lot of fantasy here, but
we are.
I don't
That's
foresee
him
him coming back. I think this is one and done. Big season.
Last question before we can turn this into a buy or sell. Buy or sell, Florida has a top 9 recruiting class or better.
Buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy that That's only hopping up like one more spot, but yeah, bye.
I think they're 9 on your rankings, Nick.
Oh, we are 9. Hopped Miami.
Yeah, we did.
Hopped Miami last week.
Oh,
Scroll down, boys.
I've been living a little bit. I haven't checked you guys. I don't know. Sometimes y'all rankings be a little crazy, Nick. So whenever I put you guys ranking out there, the streets be in my mentions like, hey, we go by this. I'm like, all right, cool. But I'm gonna use yours right now since we're ahead of Miami.
We go by on 3.
Troll. Watch them go crazy. I'll troll them tomorrow morning.
All right, so why don't you get us to a Manscaped ad read and we'll get the hell out of here.
Shout out to the great folks at manscaped.com for all your men grooming needs. Be sure to visit Manscaped. Use coupon code SG20 for 20% off of SG25 for 25% off of all shipping and all products and free shipping. Man, I was taking the L right there for a little minute, Dan. They have the ball deodorant. They also have the Lawnmower 4.0. They have ball spritzer. Also, they have the Weed Whacker, which is good for your nostril or nose hair. Like I said, be sure to use coupon code SG25 for 25% off of your products and free shipping. It's ball deodorant season. Do not be scrolling.
Yeah, you're going to need it. You're going to need it this weekend. If you buy it today, you might be able to get it by Saturday.
You're risking it a little bit.
You're risking it. That's right. Then you can get it at the store too, but you can't use our promo code. So, But if you need to try it out, I want to be a musty guy in the stands or lady in the stands.
Do not be that guy, bro. Listen, it's hot out there.
I think I had Song of the Week last week. I did. And then my boys Crawford and Power. Nick, your turn, buddy.
What this week?
What pirate ditty do you have for us today?
I was unprepared, but we're gonna
I've got
with
the Pittsburgh Pirates theme song.
No, we're going with new music. DJ Khaled, God Did, featuring Rick Ross.
Went crazy on that,
bro.
Album.
I think the album is slightly better than mid, but like he gave Hove he got Hove for like 5 minutes on the album, so I'm good.
Yeah, verse is crazy.
I did not listen to every song. I listened to
Wayne versus dope too on that verse. Wayne.
Yeah,
Wayne
was good. I liked Kanye and Eminem's song too. But I'm going, since you just saw Ricky Rose live at church. I'll go with him.
Wasn't that church? It was at Club 11.
I'm not gonna lie. I noticed that Jay-Z in every one of his songs now talks about him being a billionaire. So shout out to the billionaire.
The dope thing was he was like, what did he say? He's like, there's only 4 of us. All of them are signed to my label. He goes, oh, and LeBron's also a rock boy too. So add him.
Mm-hmm.
It's good company, man. Need some rub shoulders with them folks a little bit or something, man. They got to figure it out over there, Dan.
All right, boys. I'm going to get with you because I got to figure out my recording schedule. I'll be 6 hours behind you, so we'll have to figure it out for next week. Other than that, boys.
You got 1 p.m. local kick, Dan.
Yeah, it is. Boys, it's game week. It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Go, man.
Excitement is effervescent.
Let's go. Underdogs, man. They say we're supposed to come in here and lose this thing, man. You know, we're just happy the Utes are coming into town. They're playoff talk, right?
Yeah.
Like, no way we're going to derail this season. We'll see on Saturday.
Just excited to watch my boys put on the uniform against the mighty Utes. Hopefully we can
y'all get loud. If y'all dare, get loud as fuck.
Yeah, get loud. Enjoy. Imbibe safely so you can be there loud. Go visit the swamp, our friends. And
I'm going tonight.
Same court. After you just slandered them.
On my tab, Nick. Whatever you have it.
Okay, I'll be there all night then.
Same corner, same time next week, boys. We made it. Go Gators.
Go Gators.